In today's video, I'm going to go over how to create a Lambda function to calculate doubling time. And so doubling time is the amount of time it takes for something to double in value. So if it's growing at 5% every year, how long is it going to take for that to double? Or how long is it going to take to triple or quadruple, whatever the case may be. So you can do that in Excel, and I've done a previous video showing how you can set up a template to do that. But if you've got Office 365, then what you can do is utilize Lambda functions. So I've covered these briefly in the past. All Lambda functions really are functions you set up in the name manager. So if you were to create a named range, this would be, let's say the long approach to doing so. And one of the benefits of creating Lambda functions is you can easily reuse them over and over again. So if I wanted to create a Lambda function for doubling time, I would do that in here. And before I do that, I'm just going to show you exactly what this calculation should look like. So let's say I've got a growth rate of 5%, and I want to know how long it's going to take for that to double. So what you can use is the log function. So it takes the logarithm of what you want to get to. So if I wanted to double, I'm going to use 2 as my number, and that's all I need to enter. So I basically wanted to change 200% from where it is now. And I divide that by the log of this 5%. I can say 1 plus 5%, so it's 1.05 is what I'm doing here. So it's going to take me 14.2 years to double at that rate. And you can prove this out by saying, okay, take 1 plus this to the power of 14.06 years. So that's 2. So that calculation works. So I'm going to go into the name manager and now create that very same function. And I'm going to call it doubling time. And you can call this whatever you want. This is just what you're going to reference it when you create that, when you want to use that function. So to do this, you need to start with typing Lambda at the very beginning to indicate to Excel that this is a Lambda function. And you can name your variables whatever you want. So the first arguments are going to be for the variables, and there's no limit as to how many you can have in here. So I'm going to type in current for the current growth rate, target for the target growth rate. And now I'm going to type in that formula that I had. So I had the log, and then I'm going to take the target growth rate, because that's what I want to get to. So think of this as the number 2. We're doubling. That's what we want to get to. Divided by the log of 1 plus the current rate. So the current rate would be 0.05. So I've got this in percentages, but that's not what I'm going to enter it as. So got this. So you can see I got my Lambda function, my first variable, my second variable. Then I've got the logarithm of the target divided by the logarithm of 1 plus the current rate. So how I can prove that this works is now if I type in equals, I type in doubling. I've got doubling time on there. So I created my own function without using any sort of VBA, any sort of code. And now, so the current growth rate, 0.05, because remember, I'm adding 1 to this. So you can obviously modify this function however you want it to work. The way I set it up is that it's going to be 1 plus whatever I enter in this current rate. So 0.05 being 5%. The target being 2, so I want it to double in value. And if it calculates correctly, I should get this exact same result, 14.2 years. So the cool thing about this is, you can easily adjust this. Let's say I want to know how long it'll take to triple. Enter 3, right? 22 years. Now let's say up the growth rate from 5% to 10%, 11.5 years. So the really cool thing about doing this within a Lambda function is, it's easily accessible. It shows up as a formula. All you have to do is start typing the word double, hit tab to autocomplete. Now enter in your arguments. And the beauty of naming it current and target is, it gives me more detail as to what those arguments should mean. Because if I went back to this name manager and just used X and Y, X and Y is not really helpful. But by saying, okay, this is what the current growth rate is, what the target growth rate is, those arguments show up now when I'm starting to enter it in. So it's a bit more helpful in that sense. So little things like that can make your formula, make your function a lot more useful. So Lambda functions are, there's a lot of things you can do with them. This is just one example. So if you like these sort of functions, you want to see more of them, please give this video a like, and thank you for watching.